welcome back to Dirt 5's Energy DLC. Today we're back with 3 races for you from the Energy DLC as part of Dirt 5. The first race is Flying Start at Colonnata Reverse, Italy for a Stampede event. Soldierboy is going to be kicking us off and he's driving the Cadillac Escalade Prerunner, the Prerunner class. Now this is a new car, it's not one we've used before, and I just wanted the chance to use something new. Been trying to do a lot more of that, trying to buy every car in the game. There's no reason to do so. It's nice to have that choice and variety. So off from the start, the acceleration is lacking fully. Compared to a lot of the cars we've used recently, this one doesn't accelerate. It feels like you're hitting a brick wall and not moving. It is slowly getting up to speed though. Now if we make this first corner, not a few positions taken, not too bad. The problem is I'm trying to keep up speed in the corners because if I let the speed drop, I'm going to struggle to get it back up again. And I think that's something we found with this vehicle more than I've found with others. If your speed drops too low, you've got a long time before it gets back up again. Just it's the lack of acceleration really affects this car, and it's really noticeable as you go on in the race. But up this left-hander, we're up to 3rd place. Lovely overtake there, taking a few positions. Do lose out a little bit there, dropping down to 4th, but then back into 3rd for this right-hander. We're dropping down about 45 miles an hour. Can we get this speed back? Trying to keep it as high as possible, which means taking more speed into the corners, which obviously means we drift a bit more. Just controlling that drift as much as possible to try not to let it affect the race too much. Currently though, I think we're doing well. 3rd place, it's a good start, and I think we're quite close to the end of that. So what I've noticed as well with the DLC is some of the tracks are exactly the same as we've done before, but they're renamed, or a corner may be slightly different, but it's got a different name. That's something I've noticed. Nice overtake there, going up into 1st place, and we are now leading this race. It's not bad for a vehicle we've not used before. As I say, the issue we have is the acceleration. When it gets going, this thing is pretty quick. Not as quick as some of the cars we've used, but pretty quick still. But it's more about the lack of acceleration when you're trying to get the speed up, which for this track isn't too bad because they're quite long corners where you can keep the speed up quite a lot in the corners. For smaller tracks where the corners are a lot tighter, you've got to really press the brake before you go into the corner. I can see this being an issue. We are now starting to draw away from the cars behind us. There's a bit of a gap forming, quite a big gap by the looks of things. We're doing okay. Now if you've joined the video to watch us in the Bentley ice race car, it's one I've been looking forward to using. Skip ahead to the last race, as it's the 3rd race in this episode. Yeah, we'll talk about it more when we get to it, let's put it that way. But so far so good for this Cadillac. It's going okay. We are ahead, we're doing well. We've got a big gap now forming. There's 2 cars in the group behind us and there's a bigger gap to the main group of cars. I am curious to what everyone else is driving at this point. We did see a few that we knew, but I'm curious to what we're actually beating, because I wasn't expecting this kind of gap, especially off that start line where we didn't have any grip or we didn't have any speed. I really thought we was going to struggle, but I think it's been okay, especially on this downhill section here. We're gaining speed really quickly. It's just making sure we keep the speed up in the corners to allow us to keep a decent speed, and just under 60 mph dipping there, 59. And taking the corner nicely. This is a bit of a tighter one. Speed has dropped down a bit too much there. Dropped down 35 miles an hour, and as you can see now, we're a bit sluggish getting going again. And there's our issue. You've got to try and keep the speed so high to not allow the acceleration to be a factor. We're still keeping the gap behind us. I think they closed up a little bit, mainly because of how we took that corner. Dropping down again, we're getting the speed back up as quickly as we can. As we approach the end of the 2nd lap, start of the final lap, we're in 1st place. We've led most of the way. Let's have a look at the gap. 2.6 seconds I think that showed before it disappeared, which is a pretty good gap, and to be fair, unless we really make a major mistake, I think we've got this in the bag. We've done well to hold this lead the whole time. And it's always an unsure moment when you're using new cars. You just don't know how you're going to do in them. Will the grip be good, acceleration, speed? Have we picked the wrong car completely and we're just not going to be able to compete in the race? So it's quite refreshing to actually do a new car and it be okay. It's always a tentative moment. I think I'm a lot more confident when I do it than Wolverine does it. My concern with Wolverine is he lacks braking efficiency. So when he picks a new car, he's got no clue of speed. That can really adversely affect his race. But he's learning quickly. I must admit, I'm pretty happy with his progress throughout this series, and I hope you guys are enjoying it. Having finished the main game, we are on course for the Platinum Trophy. There's only a couple of trophies left to do for it, so we're definitely on course for that. Now, we are coming to the final section of the lap. We are still in first place. The gap is now 2 seconds. They have caught up. But we did have a decent gap. I don't think they're going to catch up much more. It's all going to depend on these final corners. This one, a bit sideways there, dropping down 32 miles an hour. Speed back up again. It's a bit slow, but we're getting there. Round the next one, dropping down to 38 miles an hour. We're okay. The gap is still behind. Still a decent gap on the mini-map. That's kind of what I kind of gauge things from. If we can see a bit of air between us and the cars behind, I think we're okay. Last few corners now before the end of the race. Left-hander here. And we're going to cross the line with an astounding victory. First place in the Cadillac Escalade Prerunner. And a decent finish. Pretty happy with the car overall. Like I say, it's just the acceleration that lets it down a little bit. So the Ford Bronco's in the Audi AI Trail. We've used ourselves the Ford F150 Raptor as well was in there. But a good result for a car we were a bit unsure about. As I say, the acceleration's lacking, but on a course like that one, I don't think it matters because you can keep up the speed in the majority of the corners. A smaller, tighter circuit probably wouldn't be the go-to car. But all their reputation's coming in. We'll get some money back as well after buying this car. The aim, I think, is to buy every car. That's kind of my thinking now. I've kind of got that in my head. I want to buy every car. So that is that race done. Next up, we have high speed, high stakes, a Pineios Lake Reverse Greece for an Ultracross event. Wolverine is going to be in the car for this one. And he is driving the Subaru Impreza S4 Rally of the 90s Rally class. This is a car Wolverine has seen me use quite a bit. So he was pretty confident about the car choice. Hopefully that goes into the race. He wasn't expecting me nighttime. He didn't expect the storms. Obviously that's going to play a factor in terms of the grip levels. Let's see how he does. Off the start pretty well. Acceleration, this thing is pretty good. Got caught up with a few cars ahead of him though. Slowed him down quite a bit there and hampered him coming into that first corner. He's kind of finding his own position now. Got to watch out for the bridge. He was so close to hit the side of the bridge there. He's in 7th place currently. He's fighting with the other cars to get past. And turning the wrong way there. I'm not sure what happened, but he went left instead of right. That's an issue. Dropping positions now. He's kind of weaving a little bit, and that's causing him to be slower. He's not. I've said this to him about it. He's not too sure what he was doing wrong, but he's weaving a bit too much, which is slowing him down. Currently in 7th place, so a decent start. Still plenty of the race to go. Right-hander here, drifting it nicely. I'm trying to explain to him not to hit the car ahead of him from behind because that slows him down. But he reckons that's really tricky to try to achieve. This is how he's learning. He can only learn by doing, can't he? That's the thing. He takes the wins really well, and he takes the losses just as well, to be fair. Currently in 6th place, which is a decent position at this stage of the race. Up the hill he's going, and his car seems to be struggling up this hill. It's not as quick as some of the others up the hill, it seems. Left-hander here. Hitting the car ahead of him is going to slow him down. Round the fence to the left. Can he make the corner? Drifting a little bit there. And again, getting a bit out of sorts. Can't quite control the car down this slope with the houses all around him. 10th place now. He's lost a few positions because of that section. Back onto the gravel now. Left-hander. He's going to finish the first lap, but he's going to finish it in 11th place. Now, he was as high as 6th, but he had a shocker on that last section. But he's learning, and I'm not going to berate him for trying at the end of the day. As long as he tries and enjoys it, that's the main thing. So 11th place currently. Looking up the inside here, got a couple of overtakes there up to 9th. Needs a decent exit speed though if he's going to hold 9th position. I think he has. But again, weaving a lot on the gravel there. He's saying his lack of grip is an issue. He can't get the car to do what he wants in the corners. It's like it's skidding out from underneath him. And I'm not too sure what's causing that. I've used this car quite a bit, and it's normally generally quite stable. But it could just be the combination of the track, the surface, and the weather. Could be causing an issue. It may just be the wrong car for this event, maybe. We found during this episodic content that this is happening quite a lot on Dirt 5. You can easily get the wrong kind of car for the wrong surface, and it does affect your race massively. So this was the bit of the section now I think where he struggled last time. He's back down to 11th. Can he gain any positions back and do anything different this time round? So he's got a left-hander coming up here, braking nicely, going through the middle of a few cars there. Decent overtake, just kind of overshot it into the corner. He's up to 9th place, he's gained a few, but again, get a bit out of sorts there on the corner, trying to hold position. Weaving all over the road, but he's still there, 10th place, braking nicely. He's going to go up to 8th as he crosses the line for the final lap, but he's so out of sorts he can't control it across the line there. Right-hander though, he's only dropped a couple, he's doing okay. 11th place now. Can he get anything else back towards the end? If he finishes the lap as he just did, he could gain a few more positions at the end, hopefully. Right-hander now trying to go up the inside. He's going to nose ahead to into 8th place. And any cars ahead of him now are a little bit further ahead. He needs to catch up with this gap if he wants any other positions out of this. Left-hander now. Trying to get it to go around a little bit deep. Just staying away from the fence. Will lose speed on the exit due to the little drift there. Right-hander. Staying out of the fence, but still struggling to control the car over all the bumps. Left-hander very deep. Did gain the position momentarily, but had to give it back in the end. Up the inside for the right-hander. Has he got the exit speed? He has, up to 7th place. Left-hander now, trying to hold the car out, getting a hit there, which is going to send him a little bit sideways. Nose ahead into 7th. I don't know if he'll hold it up the hill. We've seen this car seems to be struggling to speed up the hill. But he has managed to hold it. Left-hander, he's gone the wrong way. Turned right to the left, that's going to cost him some time. He's right near the end of the lap as well, unfortunately, so I don't think he's going to make too much up here. Left-hander now, this is the downhill section, which he struggled with previously. Can he keep it nice and tidy? Gain anything else from this lap and from this race? Still in 11th place, he's okay. Left-hander, I think he's lost his bonnet. Oh, and he's been spun. He turned a little bit early for the corner. The car behind him T-boned him a bit, caught him into the fence, and unfortunately, it is last place, 12th place. The Ford Escort RS Cosworth seems to have been the go-to car. I know the Peugeot won it, but there was 5 of them there. Not a bad race for him. Unlucky at the end, and he had a section of the race that he just struggled with. And up the hill, this car didn't seem to have the power, which was a bit weird. But he has got a stamp, so that for us is job done. So we can get the XP and the reputation now. We're nearly maxing out the current sponsor. Money going up as well. Needs to pay for my car buying habits at the minute. And he has got a livery as a reward as well. So the final race of today, and the one that the episode is named after, we're going to go with Glacier Glaze at Chola Lake Reverse, Nepal for an icebreaker event. And I've been waiting to use this car for ages. This is the Bentley Continental GT ice race car, the Rally GT class with Soldierboy in the driving seat. Now, the only reason I've wanted to use this car is because it says ice race in it. The title says it all, doesn't it? I'm assuming this is going to be the best thing since sliced bread for the icebreaker event. So let's find out how good it is. Off the line, decent start. It's got decent acceleration. Got a little bit caught with the car ahead of us there. Already jumped up to 9th place. And let's see what we can do. Up the inside, taking a few positions out, up to 4th by a nose, and holding the position nicely. See around the right-hander here. Turned a little bit early there. Caught the inside back. It's going to lose us a little bit of time. I think that left-hand run may be the slower way to go. Right-hander here. Far too deep into the corner. Currently in 4th place. And immediately, this car is not an ice race car. Now, we've done enough of these races to know what cars work and which ones don't. And what you're looking for in the car itself. The grip on this car is really bad. Not one I was expecting for a car that is named Ice Race. I kind of assumed it would be pretty good, but straight away, I'm struggling to grip. And I've got no reason to explain it. It just doesn't make sense. You wouldn't name an ice race car Ice Race if it wasn't going to be good. But as we finish the first lap, we're going to finish it in 4th place, start of the second lap. We need to play catch up to these cars ahead. Now the choice section we realised left was probably a bit slower, so hopefully we'll aim the other way this time. We are. Everyone else has gone left. This may be a chance to get some time back and catch up the top 3. I think we will. Definitely gained on them as we're up behind car in 3rd. Drifting around the right-hander here. Trying not to go deep, touch the barrier unfortunately. That's going to cost us a bit of speed on the exit. We're holding our own in 3rd place as it stands. 4th is really challenging. Can we keep ahead of them? Left-hander up the inside. Nice little move there, drifting nicely. Squeezing out the car in 2nd and the car in 1st, but can't quite get a nose ahead there. Right-hander, can we hold it? We're up the inside. Good car control in the end, I think. I think The lack of grip we had at the start, once you're used to it and you understand how the car handles, it's not as bad as it first feels. So second lap finished, we're in first place. Last final lap, can we hold this first place now? If they all go left at the choice section, we should be okay. If they go right, it's a bit harder. No, they've gone left. Okay, well we should have a lead coming out this corner. A little bit of barrier touch there. That will cost us a bit of time, and they're on our tail. We haven't got much of a gap. But yeah, I think more than anything else, the first lap criticism was warranted. But as soon as you get acquainted with this thing, it isn't too bad. We're losing first place. That barrier touch let the cars go ahead of us there. Up the inside though, gaining all three positions back in one move, squeezing them out on the apex there, taking it the right-hander. We're back in the first place. It's going to be a dogfight for the end, I think. There's not much of a gap at all, is there, behind us? But it's just getting accustomed to the car. Once you get used to the grip the car actually has, it's not a bad car. I wouldn't say it's made for the ice races personally, despite the name. But it wasn't as bad as the first lap said, if that makes sense. So we do finish the race in first place. A nice finish. And we're the only one using this car. A decent race. It's going to take a bit of time to get used to that car, I think. It does have decent speed on the streets, no matter if it's still ice or not. It just lacks grip in the corners, but that's something we can play with. That's something we can get used to. And once you're used to it, life becomes a lot easier for us. Leveled up with our reputation for our sponsor to level 9 now. We're going to get some money for the win as well. Have we earned any rewards? We have got livery and a sticker. Nice. And that today is it. 3 races for you, 2 wins, and a race that didn't quite go to plan. If you're enjoying this series or any content on the channel, don't forget to subscribe. A like on the episodes does really help. And ring the bell so you don't miss any new content on the channel. Well, that is it for today. Dirt 5 Energy DLC Episode 2 is done. We'll see you next time for more Dirt 5 Energy DLC races.